She don't live it, you'll get better. You can call me a dreamer, 'cause I wanna be a star in the sky, more than in life. But I might not look like what I believe, but it's coming to pass. It's coming to pass. It is after the rain comes the sun. Oh, baby, just hold on and be strong. When you make me search, I really live out. My hopes, my dreams, I'm through the God had no job in my life, I do. Gotta keep faith, 'cause I'm going far. So I keep holding on. Take to the skies, out elevate. The future's bright, ain't nothing less. Get out till I touch the sky. You can call me a dreamer, 'cause I wanna be a star in the sky. I'm more than in life, but I might not look like what I believe. But it's coming to pass. It's coming to pass. It is all good. After the pain comes the sun. Oh, but just hold on and be strong. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from everywhere you may be connected from. My name is Sumbo Adioye, and I want to specially welcome you to the Inspiring Change Tribe Year-End Empowerment Webinar. Today, we're going to be discussing investment for beginners and how the new tax laws affect individual and businesses. We have already in the studio our facilitator, Dr. Sheyi Abiodun. Dr. Sheyi is loaded with insights, is so loaded, and I cannot wait for you to glean from his wealth of knowledge and experience. Before we go into this, I just want to welcome you. I want you to please share this stream with everyone you know, everyone that needs this training, which is investment for beginners, as Christians, as people in business and in career, especially if you are the first born that is financially empowered in your family, or you are the first generation person in your family to pull through. I don't want you to keep this knowledge to yourself. I want you to kindly share with everyone you know. It's an empowerment webinar, like I said, and it is specially powered by ESOP Heroes. ESOP Heroes is a foundation that was launched by me in 2013 as it's a vision that is born out of my ceaseless desires to support entrepreneurial knowledge through mentorship, advisory services, and training. And over the years, God has used this platform to bet people who have been able to start their business, scale their business, and of course, being able to, sell all that they are able, their services, their businesses, their goods abroad. Right. So this Inspiring Change Tribe, it's my inner circle. It's a circle of people in their 20s, and we have a couple of people too in their 50s, and they're majorly women, and the men who understand that success is not gender specific. So if you'd like to join the Inspiring Change Tribe, we have the contact details scrolling on your screen. You can please connect with us by sending an email to inspiringchangeinitiative@gmail.com, or you can call the number that is scrolling on your screen. In March 2025, we had the 13th edition of the Inspiring Change Conference that was tagged Making More Money with Grit, Guts, and God. And this is a follow-up of that meeting to ensure that we do not just keep notes, we're able to do something with it. So today we're going to be looking at investment for beginners and, of course, the new tax laws. I'm not oblivious of what is happening in Nigeria, especially now with the insecurity. And when there is insecurity, schools cannot function, businesses cannot function, well, even individuals cannot function. So we pray for the peace of our land, and we pray that our government will intervene so that every of the things that we all are doing, we will be able to achieve it. And I pray that you too will be able to achieve everything that you have set up to do in this year and beyond, in Jesus' name. As a believer, I know that God blesses everyone with wealth. The Bible says that it is He who gives us power to get wealth, but He only trusts those who remain humble. God will only trust you with kingdom wealth if you remain disciplined and you are kingdom minded. So as a business owner or as a career person, I want you to pay keen attention to everything you're going to be learning today, because money is a tool. If you have used all the information that you gleaned during the Inspiring Change Conference, if you have used it, I believe right now that you have indeed made more money. But money is a tool. It's not your identity. Your worth is not in your bank balance, but it is in your identity in Christ. I want you to please pay rapt attention to everything we're going to be sharing, because there are principles that blends God's wisdom and practical financial knowledge for everyone. And I want you to invest right, not only as a child of God, but invest right as a business person, as a person in career. This meeting will help you track your income and spending so that you can avoid wasteful, or that urge to just spend, and then you can clear every unnecessary debt. I believe that you have made money, and if you have not made money, please go back and watch the Inspiring Change Conference 13th edition. It was streamed on my platform at Sumbo Adioye in March 2025. Glean it. That's a conference that brings together women who have been able to do very well in their professions, come to share with women and men who would like to be like them. They share how they lose, how they choose, they share how they fail, and how they are able to bounce back. And I believe that when you listen to them, these are practical knowledge. This is not knowledge by the book, So make sure that you go there, listen to it, and then come back and listen to this one again. Like I was saying, there's always a financial order. First, you have to track your income. You have to avoid wasteful spending. You have to build investments, build emergency fund, so that you're not always putting your hand into what you have saved for investment, or you're not always liquidating your investment for emergencies. If you are still doing that, please, this is a meeting you need to pay rapt attention to. Another thing I would like to share with you is that God blesses structure. Financial chaos and divine increase don't go together. God blesses structure. So make sure that you're giving, your what's that word again? Your tithing, your generosity, their percentage. Don't just do anyhow, because all these things that we're going to be sharing will open you up to divine wisdom. And I pray in the name of Jesus that you be favored going forward in Jesus' name. Another way with which you can get it right is to invest in knowledge. Invest in knowledge. This is the essence of having this webinar, so that you can make sure that you are not investing by impulse. As a Nigerian youth, as a youth that is making money, or you're a Nigerian youth with money, the temptation is very, very high. I mean, now there's iPhone, iPhone what now? The latest edition you want to buy. There's this temptation to, to join what is trending. You want to do Ponzi scheme, you want to do crypto, you want to get rich quick, and you want to dabble into profit deals. God's children don't chase quick money. Okay? We grow wealth with wisdom, right? So invest only in what you understand. And that is the essence of this meeting. Before I go, I want to read the profile of our facilitator. Dr. Sheyi Abiodun is already backstage, like I said. And after reading his recital, the next face you're going to be seeing will be that of ease. Don't forget to share the stream with everyone you know. Share it with your friends, your goal-getting friends. We are discussing investment for beginners and how the new tax laws affect individuals and businesses. For Dr. Sheyi to be able to understand your area of preference, I want you to please drop it in the comment section, the field where you play. Let him know the category of people that we have connected here today. So you are welcome. You are welcome. You're welcome. Like I said, my name is Sumbo Adeoye, and you can connect with me on all my social media at Sumbo Adeoye. We're going to be welcoming our guests real quick. Let me read his recital. Please don't go anywhere. Yes, Dr. Sheyi Abiodun is a global wealth advisor who specializes in guiding high net worth families towards tax efficient citizenship and residency solution, while helping them diversify and build resilient global portfolios. He has over 16 years of executive experience spanning corporate governance, finance, administration, and strategic planning. He has worked closely with senior executives, group CEOs, board chairmen, and presidents across industries such as management consulting, insurance, oil and gas, and manufacturing. In addition to his expertise in wealth management, Dr. Abiodun is increasingly focused on the intersection of finance, sustainability, and impact, particularly in the areas of ESG, that's the environmental, social, and governance, and green finance. He advocates for the integration of sustainable investments principles into traditional wealth advisory, empowering clients to grow their assets while contributing to a cleaner, more inclusive economy. Dr. Abiodun holds an honorary doctorate in business administration from Miles Leadership University and is currently pursuing a global MBA at Imperial College Business School, London. He has a PhD in Bayes University, Abuja. He also holds a postgraduate diploma in business management and a master's in industrial relations. Beyond his advisory practice, he is a certified financial education instructor and a proud member of the NFEC's Personal Finance Speaker Association USA, as well as an associate member of the Chartered Institute of Finance and Control of Nigeria, CIFCON. Dr. Abiodun is deeply committed to raising financial literacy and sustainable wealth consciousness across Africa. Through his training programs and content creation, he has educated thousands of career professionals and entrepreneurs, simplifying complex financial concepts into actionable strategies. As a finance content creator and thought leader, he believes that true wealth goes beyond accumulation. It is about freedom, legacy, and the ability to live, invest, and make an impact without bother. Please help me welcome Dr. Sheyi Abiodun. You are welcome, Doctor. You are welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Good afternoon, Pastor Sumba.
afternoon. Good
It's,
afternoon.
it's great to be here. Apologies that my video is not showing. I tried everything to make it show, but
But
let's
I'm
see if it
glad we
works.
can see your picture at least.
Okay, so I have a couple of slides to share. So if you
Okay.
permit me to do that.
Yes, we can see your slide.
Okay, so present. Okay, can you see my slides?
Yes, we can.
Excellent. All right, good afternoon, everyone, again. In the next 45 minutes, I'm going to be talking about this topic investing and understanding the Nigerian tax law. There's been a lot of anxiety, especially about the tax law, with different content creators coming up with different things that is, making people anxious about what is happening
Mhm,
next year. Is
mhm,
government about to take over our business and all of those things? So I'm going to be explaining how the tax law affects you, whether you are a business owner or you are a career person. In the course of this presentation, we'll look at three headlines. The first one is the pillars of financial management or financial planning. The second is net profit, how to calculate your net profit as a business owner, and what should you be doing with your net profit at the end of the day. We'll look at that. And lastly, we'll look at the Nigerian tax law. Let's get right into it. Financial planning. At the core of wealth creation is financial planning. You need to understand the pillars upon which wealth creation stands. When you see any rich person, any wealthy person that you come across, these are the pillars that you build your wealth upon. The first one is goal setting and budgeting. And Pastor Sombo did mention about goal setting and slightly about budgeting in our introduction. This is very critical. It is at the foundation of wealth creation. If you are ever going to be rich, if you are ever going to have assets in different currencies and geographies, you need to get a hang of budgeting and goal setting. Without wasting too much time on goal setting, I think every one of us knows what goal setting means. But within the context of finance, what is goal setting? It is simply you defining what rich life means to you on paper. You have to get to that point where you sit down and draw it on paper, write it out. What does a rich life mean to me? For someone who desires to have money like Dangote, that person's rich life will be different from someone who is just comfortable with the normal life. And there is nothing absolutely wrong with wanting a normal life, a life where you just you're just able to pay your bills and you can take one or two trips abroad once in a while. You can pay your children's school fees and you are fine. You are not begging or borrowing. That takes me to the levels of financial freedom. This is an afterthought. It wasn't in the slide, but it's something I always like to make reference to help people understand that we are not on the same level. Matter of fact, you can be in the same profession level with someone, but your financial level is totally different. So essentially, there are five stages to financial freedom. The ultimate goal of every one of us is to get to financial freedom. But we all start from the beginning, or most of us will start from the beginning. The first phase is called dependent phase. At dependent phase, someone else is responsible for paying your bills. Maybe your parents, your guardian, your maybe even the government is responsible for paying your bills at the initial phase of your life because you are not working. You are age one, age two, age three, you are still going to school. Someone needs to pay your bill. But as time goes on, you graduate and you move to the next phase. The next phase is called survival. Sadly, over 90% of Nigerians are currently at survival phase. Survival is that phase where You are earning, but what you are earning is not enough to pay your day-to-day bills. So we use this analogy when we say your take home cannot take you home. Survival. 90% of Nigerians are currently at that phase. The next phase after survival is stability. Stability doesn't mean you are rich. It just means that you now have enough. Another word we can use for stability is comfort. Comfortable. You are comfortable. You've gotten to that phase in your journey where you can pay 100% of your bills without borrowing. You can save, invest, and also give to other people. Stability. The next layer after stability is called security. At security phase, you have a lot of investment. You started investing in different asset classes, low risk assets, medium risk assets, high risk assets. You have so much investment that you feel a sense of security. You feel secure. That is security phase. That is not still the end. The end goal for every one of us is financial freedom, which is the ultimate. At financial freedom, the return that you are earning from all your investment, the return is enough to pay your lifestyle bills without you touching the principal. In other words, let's assume your annual expenses is 10 million naira. You have an investment that pays you 10 million and above every year, and the principal is still intact. We can say that you are at financial freedom. So you would see that the way I've described it, you will see that every one of us cannot define financial freedom the same way. For some people, they don't want so much wahala. Matter of fact, the more money you have, the more wahala comes with it. Um,
Exactly.
I, I used to say I want to be very rich until I was opportuned to work with Dangote. Just before I moved to Abuja, my last corporate job was in Dangote's office. I was working directly with him. And because of the pressure that we were facing in that office, I decided that no, 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 I don't want this kind of Dangote's money. It's too much wahala, right? It means like I won't be able I won't be able to
Oh
enjoy
my
myself.
God.
I don't want this kind of money. I just want the kind of money where I can travel, I can decide to work from Bahamas, stay by the beachside, and I'm controlling things, not the one that I'm stuck to work. I'm carrying the burden of 50,000, 100,000 people on my head. So, financial freedom again is you have to define it yourself, it's contextual. So, goal setting and budgeting. When you've done that, the next level is budgeting. It lets you know the picture of where you are right now so that you can know what you can afford and what you cannot afford. If someone earns 200,000 and something and a bill is 100K, maybe a phone that the person wants to buy or an ashwebi is 100K, how do you know what you can afford? You only know what you can afford within the context of your budget. So why a lot of people assume they can afford some things is because they don't have a budget. For some of us who live in Nigeria, we pay our rent annually. The fact that you pay your rent annually doesn't mean that you should not make provision for it monthly. Because now you pay your rent annually, but you earn money monthly. The wisdom there is every month you take a portion that falls as rent from your salary and save it or invest it in an account. That way, at the end of the year, you are not praying, God, where is my rent? Provide my rent. No, God has already given you a job. It is your duty to
Exactly.
plan from the job so you can pay your rent. You don't have to disturb God, as if I can say that. Sorry, I'm not a pastor. I may be dropping some lines to help
It's
to help you
allowed.
get a sense of, to help you get a sense of what I'm saying. So that's the first thing. Then the next point is emergency funds and debt management. So after
Mm,
you've dealt with budgeting and goal setting, you need to now start setting aside portions of your income as emergency funds. It is not a good thing that you've earned. We are in November right now. Let's say
mhm.
you've earned 200K minimum every month in the last. It is not a good thing that you don't have at least 10% of what you've earned this year somewhere. It's not a good thing. Nǹkan tó bá dáa, ká sọ pé kò dáa, right? It is not a good thing. You should have at least 10% of your
Least
income saved
10%.
or
Mhm.
invested in emergency funds. Emergency funds is what you can call upon if
Yes.
emergency situation happens.
Comes up.
Again, emergency. It's not the way a lot of people also define emergency. It's not really emergency, it's lack of planning. Let me give you a very relatable example. You are
Yes.
the husband to a pregnant woman. Your wife now gives birth today. You're now disturbing me with a call. Mr. Shi, please help me. My wife is in the hospital. How much is the bill? 200K. How much do you have? I don't have anything. But God gave you
Hey,
9 months to plan.
9 months notice.
So it is not emergency in that situation. It is lack of planning. How can that situation become emergency? Let's say you planned for normal birth, but they said they had to do CS. So CS now means you have to pay double of the amount you have. We can help you in that situation because it was circumstance beyond what emergency means is circumstance beyond your control, right? So a lot of things that people call emergency is lack of planning. So let's get that out of the way. The next thing after you have mastered emergency savings and debt management as well, if you see that when you do budgeting properly, you'll be able to stay out of consumption debt because you won't be buying what you cannot afford. You know clearly what you can afford and what you cannot afford. The
Hmm.
next one now is investing and wealth building. Have investments in different asset classes, and this is very spiritual. I think it was Solomon that said it. Said have investment. He gave the template. The template is diversification in 7 asset classes, right? You should have investments in different places. I would share with us how to do that in the course of this presentation. Then the next one is risk management and insurance. Insurance is what I think a lot of us are sleeping on. Believers, we trust God so much that we don't use insurance to protect ourselves. One of the other things I learned working with Dangote and the other, I've been opportuned in the course of my career to work with very wealthy people. And I see that those guys don't lose anything. Why don't they lose anything? They use insurance as a measure to ensure that they don't lose anything. Let me give you an example. I never knew something like trying to remember the name now, an insurance that covers when you are not productive. I never knew that existed until I started working in Dangote. So at some point,
Oh wow, there's a thing like that.
yes. So
Wow.
when it's called business interruption insurance, business interruption. So at some point, riot broke out in one of the states where we have factories in Nigeria. So the youth of those community
Yes.
literally seized our workforce. They didn't allow people to produce. Production didn't go on for like 1 week. We lost a lot of money. And all of us were concerned in the risk management department. Oh, so that the only thing we just did was just to put the documents together, the news headline, we wrote the report, and we sent to the insurance company. The money we're supposed to have made in that 1 week, they paid it back to us. I say, these rich guys don't lose anything. Business interruption insurance is what it's called. So these are ways that people or rich people protect everything that God has given them. I say the way I define insurance is how you protect everything that God has given to you. It is not a lack of faith to
Hmm.
take up insurance. It is actually a way to demonstrate faith, if you can put it like
Hmm.
that. Right? Because
Please
things
say that
some
again. Insurance is how you
something
protect what God
protect
has given
everything as God has given
you.
you. Right? We've had cases where even churches sometimes we can have fire incidents in
That,
churches, right?
yeah.
When fire incidents happen, we don't have to now put burden on members to bring the money up deep into savings that we didn't plan to dip into by simply having insurance in place. Insurance company just comes in and fixes it. One of my mentors in one of his presentations said there was a time when how he learned insurance as a man in ministry was there was a time offering that they were taking from church to the bank. Robbers met with them and took the money away. So those kind of things were happening frequently. So they now decided that okay, how can we insure all of these things? There is an insurance that does that as well. Without overflogging any point, let me just move on. So we move to the next one is tax and estate planning. The issue of estate, I would deal with tax later. Estate planning is something a lot of us, whether we don't really have the knowledge about it or we choose not to do it. Tax estate planning, you can use different tools. The first one is trust. and the second is will. When you hear will in this part of the world, the first thing you know, I will not die. I will live to declare the works of the Lord. Yes, nobody is saying you will die. The will or trust is the way to protect your
That
loved one.
is
Let
it.
me give you an example of how I use trust. So I have daughters. I have three daughters. So I approached my trustee. There are companies in Nigeria that are called trustees. Most of them are subsidiaries of banks. Like GT Bank would have GT trustees. FCMB would have FCMB trustees. They may call it another name because those are
Yes.
distinct entities on their own. So I approached the
Yes.
trustee. I want an educational trust that will pay for my children's school fees. And how did I get that insight? I learned that from someone as well. My landlord, when I was still in Lagos, I realized I saw that when it's time to pay his children's school fees, he doesn't even sweat it. His children are schooling abroad. One is studying medicine in the US, the other is studying engineering. And this was the time the dollar was going up every day. I'm like, okay, how were you able to do all of this? He said, because he has planned for it years ago. Sometimes the things that we think we cannot afford is because we don't plan for them in advance. If you have 10 years now, by the time the first time I opened my trust fund, I had like 15 years to plan for the university education of my daughter. 15 years is enough time for me to save and invest and build the trust fund. Right? The challenge is most people don't start early. So I just approach them, give them the budget. So this is what you have to first do an assignment. The assignment is which school do you want your children to go to? Is that granular? Whether you want them to go to Harvard or Oxford, or you want a a Covenant University, let's choose a Covenant University for the purpose of this discussion. Covenant University is where you want your children to go to. You have two of them. You will now go and find out. Let's say they want to study engineering. What is the current school fees that an engineering student will pay in Covenant University for 4 years? Let's say it is 1 million per year. So that gives you 4 million in 4 years. That is what you need to send your daughter or son to Covenant University to study engineering. But then you know
Yeah.
that maybe your daughter is still 5 years old. She will not enter uni until 15. It means you have 10
Mhm.
years. But you also
To
know
plan.
that there's something called inflation. You cannot say 4 million today will be 4 million in 10 years' time. So you factor in 10% inflation every year. So by the time you get to the 10th year, that 4 million would have doubled. So let's say it goes up to like 8 million or 10 million. You now approach the trustee. My goal is to save 10
Wow.
million towards the education of my daughter. So
Hmm.
they tell you the pattern of how much you need to be saving or investing. So the good thing with trust, why it is different from savings, is that you are putting the money in it, they are also investing it in low risk assets. I would go into details of what low risk assets are. So they will invest it for you. You are getting a return, and every month, based on your agreement, they can send you the report. But that fund is specifically for the education of your kids. Let's assume that, God forbid, I'm no longer here when my daughters want to enter uni. The only thing that needs to be done is the trustee is called upon. They send the bill of the school to the trustee. The trustee wires the money directly to the school. Why is that done? Because we don't want a situation where someone will now interject. Cases we all watch Nollywood now. You will see that
Hmm.
someone will die. When the person dies, the children, the
The
money that,
family
they,
will
that
suffer.
was meant, they will now start taking over the money. So trust is how you ensure that those type of things don't happen. So my landlord, even though he's even alive, nothing is wrong with him. When the school sends the bill to him, he just simply sends it to the trustee and they wire the money to the school. So that is a man that has planned 15, 20 years in advance.
Ahead.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah. So let's move on to the next slide. So talking more about investing now. When you want to start investing generally, you need to understand these three buckets of investing: low risk investment, medium risk investment, high risk investment. All investment would fall under those categories. Most of the time, you need to look at your own risk appetite, right? What is your risk appetite? What is the goal that you are aiming to achieve? I've just described the goal of my trust fund for you, right? To you. So you need to write down what is the goal that you are aiming to achieve with this investment.
Yes.
That would guide you on the choice of what to choose. you also need to know, you also need to factor in your age. It's important, right? If you're still in your 20s, it's advisable that you do more of medium and high risk investment. But if you're in your 40s and above, you want to focus more on low risk investment.
Mm.
Low risk investment, as the name implies, means that the risk you're taking is not so much. And
It's
in
low.
investment, the higher the risk, the higher the return. The lower the risk, the lower the return. When you do low risk investment, you will not earn so much money. It's not going to be dramatic, but you are sure that your capital is almost guaranteed. I use that word almost guaranteed because in this world that we are in, the only person that can talk in absolute terms is God. You know, when you say nothing,
Yeah.
if something, in fact, if someone tells you that come and invest in this thing, 100%, you will get
And
your money back.
that's a
Wrong.
Ponzi scheme.
There is nothing that is 100%, right? So we must always choose our words carefully when we are talking about investment. So low risk investment, your capital is almost guaranteed. In Nigeria currently, let me give you some examples of low risk investment. Money market mutual fund, treasury bill, bond. You know, bond is very exciting to me because it's spiritual. When we say that, many of us we've been quoting this scripture, I will lend to nations and not borrow. How do you think you're going to lend to nations? Bond
Hmm.
is one of the ways that you lend to countries. So
Hmm.
now I invested in Nigerian government bond. Nigeria is owing me. Matter of fact, you on this, all of you are owing me because your country is owing me. So low risk investment. It won't pay you so much, but within what we have seen in the last 1 to 2 years, most low
Yes.
risk investments in Nigeria will pay you around 7 to 19%.
Mm.
Example, fixed deposit is a low risk investment. You just approach your bank, open a fixed deposit account, they may tell you 6%, 4%, depending on the amount. The higher the amount you have, the greater your negotiation, strength.
Dr.
Where
Shei, I want us to take time on this one. Go. I really want us to
Oh,
take
okay.
time on this one because um, for beginners, many
Mm,
people usually have this feeling,
yeah.
many people usually have this feeling that when you are talking bond, treasury bill, mutual funds, it's for rich people.
Wow.
It's for rich people. To John Kanu,
Yeah.
is it the person that has not eaten well that will now be investing? But I really,
Yes.
really would want you to kindly dwell on
Break
this.
down. Okay.
When you say something like you want to do fixed deposits, walk into your bank, open a fixed deposit account. Some people don't understand what that is.
Okay.
Majority know what is. We open our account, savings account, current account. There are some accounts that people need to know about that they will not readily just shove in your face except you make a
You
request.
ask for it.
The reason
Okay.
I'm saying this is I have over a decade experience in banking. The early years in my 20s, I was a banker, and I know that we don't just start marketing a particular account, you know, except
Mm,
see the flow, of this customer, or the customer places a request for it. So I just want you to just touch on this money market, maybe recommend
okay.
one or two. I
Okay.
don't want to speak for any bank, but
Yeah.
I have a couple of them, but I just want you to say one
Dwell
or
on
two
it.
things. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
So the starting point for investing for beginners, the starting point is always low risk investment. And within that low risk investment, there are different options that you can choose from. Some of them allow you to start with as low as 5,000 naira. Some of them you can start with
Perfect.
10,000. You don't need a lot of money to start, right? Money market operates more like a normal account. Why? Because it allows you to add money from time to time. So let me give you an example of how I opened my first money market. I opened my first money market account in 2013 with First Asset Management. First Asset Management is a subsidiary of First Bank. And the way most of these guys work, the fact that they are subsidiaries doesn't mean that you just walk into a first bank and say you want to open money market. But by the time you get to that, most of these bankers don't even understand what you're talking about. They just think you want a normal savings account or a, a current account. So all these asset managers have online presence. So as I'm mentioning them, you can just write it down after the call. Just Google
Yeah.
them. On their website, you can see apply, open a money market account. So you open it, open the account, give them your details, give them your BVN, give them your NIN, and all of those numbers that you have. Once that is done, that account will be opened for you. They will communicate the account number you're supposed to pay into for you. The beauty of that, of money market, is I put 5,000 today. I started mine, I think, with 3,000 or so in 2013. But
Okay.
as I get money, I can just put it into it. It's just like a savings account. You know that if someone
It's
gives
very
me
easy. Just
5K
top
now,
up
it's very easy for
and
you
top
to,
up.
so
Hmm.
that's the word. You
And the
can
good
top
part
up.
is you can do it on your phone. It's not every time you have to walk into the bank.
Yes. So a lot of them
Yeah,
also
you can
have
proceed now.
apps. A lot of thank you. A lot of them also have apps that you can simply download. So if you have Stanbic IBTC, that's another very good one. On their
Yes.
app,
Very
what they
good.
have done is on their own app is like a group. Their app has most of the businesses that they have. So you see
Mm-hmm.
once you open the app, you will see your bank, that's the
Then
bank, the
Blue
commercial
Nest.
bank. You see mutual funds, you see their
Mm.
insurance, you see their pension, all the subsidiaries that they have is
I
all
think
on
it's
one
called
app.
Blue
If you
Nest or
want to,
something like that.
excellent, yes, that's what it's called now. So just
Yes.
click on the one that has mutual funds. You would go through the application process, and you can start that with as low as 5,000 as well. Once you make additional money, you can now transfer it into the account, and you also it compounds. How do you earn from it? So my Stanbic, I earn monthly based on the money that I have there. So let's assume that they've promised you 20% per annum, and you put 1 million, you put 50,000 naira today. I'm trying not to use big figures. You put 50,000 naira today. In month one, what you will get is a portion of that 20%. For the purpose of calculation, let's take it 24% so that it's easy to understand. 24% is what they say you will get in a year. Month one, you get 2%. Month two, you get 2%. And it's 2% of the amount that is in that account as at the time they want to pay the interest. So that's the way it works. For bond as well, you can start with 5,000 naira. Bond is how government borrow money from citizens. You know, when they say that Nigerian government likes to borrow, you see the news, they want to borrow another money again. So they lose most of us once we see that borrowing. We don't ask questions. Okay, where is this borrowing going to come from? What kind
Where
of
is it
borrowing
going to
is it?
come from?
There's
Oh,
some borrowing. Yes. So there's some borrowing. Government borrowing is always split into two. We have foreign borrowing and we have domestic borrowing. Foreign borrowing is the one they borrow from institutions abroad, like IMF, World Bank, Afrexim, all those top banks. You know, maybe they are striking a deal with China and all of those things. But we also have domestic borrowing, which is when they borrow from you and I or from institutions within the country. They can borrow from pension funds, all the money that were put in pension. Pension people can borrow them for an interest because your pension fund is also not supposed to remain static. The money that your company is removed from your account and they are paying into your pension. If you request for your pension statement at the end of the year, you will see interest components. How are they able to give you interest on your pension? It's because they also use that money for business. They borrow government and big organizations and earn interest from it. So, bond. When you see with bond in Nigeria, you can start with as low as 5,000 as well. Every month, the government floats a bond. They request to borrow money from citizens every month, right? Even though there's a lot of technicality around it, in finance, generally, we have personal finance, we have corporate finance, corporate or business finance, and we have
mhm.
public or government finance. There are some rules within public finance that may not work, may put you in trouble if you want to try them in personal finance. You know these things, let me break it down for you. When they say that, oh, Dangote is borrowing, so go and borrow, my friend, better give yourself sense. Dangote is not borrowing as Mr. Dangote. Dangote is borrowing as Dangote PLC. If
That's it.
Dangote, if Dangote PLC cannot repay the loan, Dangote will walk away. They will take Dangote PLC. So those are the information that we need to know, right? Government, for instance, now, government borrow every month. Sometimes government borrow to pay loan. So they are owing. Let's say government is owing 5 million and the repayment is drawing close and they don't have the money yet. They've not made enough money from taxes so that they can pay that money. Do you know government can go and borrow 10 million and repay the 5 million from the money that you have just borrowed? So it's a thing that governments all over the world do. They borrow to pay loan. They borrow for projects. They borrow for recurrent expenditures and a lot of things, right? So low risk investment. Then the other one is medium risk investment. When you have mastered this one, you've mastered money market and all of those
Dr.
things.
Shay, sorry to cut you. I
Yeah,
just wanted to say that you did justice with that low risk investment. Thank you so
yeah.
much. If you are listening, you're watching, and you have questions on this low risk investment, I want you to type it in the comment section and we'll be able to take one or two before we end this session. I also want to state that we have less than 20 minutes to wrap up the entire webinar. So we don't want to keep Dr. Shei for too long. Please proceed.
Yeah. Thank you. So the next one is medium risk, right? Medium risk is meant for people that have passed the first level because this is where stocks come in, ETFs and commercial papers. Let me talk about stocks. Stocks or shares. You've heard me, probably heard someone say, oh, company is selling shares. Last year, a lot
Yes,
of
we've had
banks were selling
shares.
shares. So
Mm-hmm.
what is shares? How can you, what are you doing when you buy shares? When you buy shares, what you're doing is you are giving your money to a company to work with it. And
Mm-hmm.
in exchange for that, they give you a share of their profit. And sometimes the value of your investment can also rise if the price of the stocks rises, right? It's that simple. I won't talk so much on that because I want to get into that um, tax bit. So I wanted you guys to see, I have a practical illustration of what this is, a slide from one of my stocks portfolio. You can see
Right.
that in this year, I've made 48.85% from my investment in stocks. The
The
total money
stock
there now is,
market has actually been doing well if you
yeah,
know the right shares to buy.
yes. So you would see that I've made a return. What I invested, 14 million, I didn't put it once. It was 1 million, 2 million, 500,000, 200,000. But the
A
total I've invested
little
is
drop
14
here
million.
and there.
Yeah. And the total investment right now, the total market value of the shares has risen to 21 million. So I've made an interest of 7.1 within a year from the stock market, just to help you see the
Within
potential that the
a
stock market,
year, not in
yes, within a
10
year.
days, not in
Yes.
1 month.
Yes,
We
within a
have
year. Within a year.
to know that
So,
these things don't come fast, 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 fast like that.
yes,
And it is a percentage on what you invest. So the more you
excellent.
add to it, the more your
The-
returns.
yeah. So the next part is apportioning your net profit. So this speaks specifically to those who own businesses. How can I create wealth from my business? I've earned X amount. How do I invest it correctly? What portion of it should I invest so that I don't shoot myself in the foot? Because you must avoid overstocking. If you are a business owner who carries products, you must know the right stock to have per time. If you also run a business in a country like Nigeria, you must also understand how FX affects your business, meaning dollar, naira exchange rate. Thankfully, in the
That's
last
true.
couple of months, it's been stable, right?
Yeah, it's
Because
been
think about
stable,
it.
stable
Let's
going
assume you imported something when dollar was 1,800 naira.
Hey,
Now you want to sell, $1 has gone down to
It's gone
1,500.
down.
So how
Yeah,
do you
even lower
ensure
than
that?
that.
So, or let's do it the other way around. You ordered something when dollar was
Maybe
1,500.
970.
Yeah. It has now gone up. How do you factor that into your
Mm,
selling price so you don't chase your customer away and you remain competitive? So, all of those dynamics you must understand. So, after you've done your account for the year, yeah, this is a format. I'll probably just share this slide so that everyone can read it. Right? So, how do you apportion your profit? 50 to 60% of your profit should be reinvested into your business. This is for those who have product-based
hmm.
businesses.
Please
50
say
to
that again.
60% product-based businesses. It's not for if you have service-based business, meaning you don't have inventory, you can invest more out of your business. I have a service-based business. I'm a consultant. I'm a business advisor. Most of the things I do are services. So
Hmm.
that way I can invest 90% of my, because a lot of my income is almost my profit. By the time I take out my salary of my staff and all of those things,
Yes.
office,
Yes.
I'm still left with much more. So I can invest a huge part of my net profit,
Mm,
into other asset classes, right?
yes.
So, but for
Dr.
those
Shay,
ones,
I
yes,
want to also, I want you to please pause a little on this one
okay,
because
yeah,
we have um, people who deal in product-based business in the inner circle. And
okay,
one thing I also would want you to touch on is how they understand the profits
okay.
before
Let
they
me
can
go
now
back
take
there.
it to 60%
Before then,
of
can I talk about the apportionment of it?
capital, not running costs, not,
Okay. All right.
think.
I omitted this slide. So this is the
Oh,
first slide actually before that one. So this is
okay.
an illustration of how you come to your net profit. A lot of times, when you see people who are running businesses in Nigeria that don't understand accounting, at least you need to understand a bit of accounting to run a business successfully. What I always say is they overstate their profits because they don't understand what costing is. Let me give you a typical example. You go into Dubai and you bought, let's say you sell perfumes. You bought perfumes at 1 million naira perfume. Total money you spent on buying the perfume is 1 million. You come back into Nigeria and then you sold, you just added 50% markup. So you sold everything at 1.5 million and you're so excited. I've made 500,000 gain. No, you have made 500,000 gross profit. That is not your profit. So you now need to sit down. What are the other costs that you need to factor into that 500,000? Do you have shop? You have shop where you are selling these things. The time, marketing cost. A lot of us, because you are the single business owner, you don't have any staff, you're the one that does your marketing yourself. Or the time that you spend replying to messages in your DM, do you factor it
Hmm.
into your selling price? That's as basic as that. The time that you spend replying to inquiries, maybe 1 hour daily. If I ask you as a businessman, what is your 1 hour charge? You probably won't know, except you're abroad where people are paid by the hour. We need to be granular, right? So we have direct costs and we have indirect costs before you arrive at your net profit. When you make that 1.5 million, you bought something 1.1 million, you sold at 1.5, you've made gross profit. So you need to identify what are the direct costs that are directly related to that. Let me give you some examples of direct costs in that situation. Maybe when you are in Dubai, you stayed in a hotel, the cost of that hotel. If you have traveled to Dubai purposely to buy those goods to sell, the cost of the hotel, the cost of your flight, if you ate, like you weren't fasting during the trip, the cost of food, feeding, right? By the time the taxi that you took to the place to buy those things and brought it back to your hotel, the cost of transporting yourself by the time you got to the airport in Lagos to your store, all those costs need to be factored in. Marketing costs. Maybe you did social media ad and then social media sponsored posts on Instagram. What is the cost? All those costs need to be factored in. You bought data for your business to do your online engagement. The data that you bought needs to be factored into every sale. In your shop, you pay rent, you pay utility, NEPA bill, and all of those things. You need to factor in all of those costs. You have sales, marketing, logistics. By the time you have factored in all of those, the balance is your net profit. Nonetheless, the fact that they say you should factor in your rent, I'm not saying factor in the whole monthly rent into one single sale. It will be you overstating your costs, right? So you need to
I
be very
actually feel you've done
meticulous.
justice to that because of our
Okay.
time. How about
Yes.
salary earners? What percentage of their profit must they invest?
If you earn a salary, the minimum, right, is 20%. 10%, don't forget I said 10% in emergency savings, but you must also be investing outside emergency savings. So 20% is recommended. That is the minimum. But for some people that you've done your budget, you see that I have some people that I'm mentoring, my mentees right now that are investing over 60% of their salaries because they work remotely. Working remotely, some people are earning $3,000 already. You're earning $3,000. By the time you convert to Nigerian money, that's 4.5 million. How much do you want to spend in Nigeria if you're not owning Okuno? I'm serious.
Very true.
As a single person, how much you want to spend every
Shawarma
month?
money, save it.
Uh-huh. So all of those things. Yeah. So let's continue. Let me just go to the last part of it, which is I just mentioned a few things about some of the changes within the tax system that you need to be aware of, right? Um, First off, personal income tax. If you are a business owner and what you have is a business name registration, you know that you can register businesses in two ways in Nigeria. You can either register as you can either register as business name or as limited liability company. If you register as a business name, what are the implications of that? Looking at the new tax law, this is what I'm about to talk about. So if you register as a business name, there are some exemptions that you won't be able to enjoy. So let's say you are a freelancer and you work remotely. You earn your money in your name directly. Any money you earn in your name, you are going to be taxed directly as though it is your income. What is the wisdom? The wisdom is for you to register a company, proper LLC, limited liability company. When you register an LLC, the business is allowed to take out all expenses. It is on the net profit of that business that tax is now applied upon. And that is even if your business makes more than 100 million in a year. It was 50 million, is 50 million up until now from January 100 million. So if your business does not make up to 100 million in a year, you are tax free. You are not going to pay company income tax. But if you have a business name registration and you don't even make up to 100 million, let's say you make 98 million, you are going to pay personal income tax from your money. If you have limited liability company and the company makes 98 million, you will not pay any tax on that money because that money is the business money and it's not even up to the threshold for company income tax. I hope you guys understand the point I'm trying to make with that from that. Do you understand it?
If you understand what Dr. Shei's point is, please put it in the comment section. Let me be sure that you understand before we go deeper into this tax law thing. Because, I mean, if you don't separate yourself from your business, this is where it's going to hit you below the belt. So you must go open a company account and separate, your income, your personal income from the business income. That way you're able to be safe from the new tax law.
And then you can
I
claim some
understand. I see the
exemptions.
comments.
Excellent. Oh, okay, excellent. let me go to. So, what are some of the taxes that you need to understand? We have company income tax, which I already said is only applicable to companies that make 100 million and above. If you don't make up to 100 million in Nigeria from next year, you're not going to pay company income tax. If you make 100 million, above 100 million, and 500 million, the way the law looks at you is, where this concept of small, medium enterprises, we lump it together, but within the context of the law, tax law, if your business makes 100 million or below, you are a small business. If it makes 100 million to 500 million, you are no longer a small business, you are a medium business. So for a medium business, you are paying tax, 20% company income tax. Not 20, let's say at the end of the day, your business makes a total of 400 million in the year. You are not paying government 20% of 400 million, no. You are allowed to take out all your business-related expenses. After you've taken out all the, in fact, this may look like a hack. If you want to travel abroad, am I teaching you guys bad thing?
You're not teaching us bad thing, though.
For some of you that take annual vacation, you can structure it in such a way that the company is sponsoring you for a course abroad, and the taxman will allow you. But if you don't have a company registered and you have a business name and you travel, that one is not allowed. You must pay tax. So those are the small trades. So that's small. So just open a company account, LLC, limited liability company, so that you can enjoy all of these exemptions. As a company, the law allows you to pay yourself any salary. No, if it's okay, my business is paying me 1 million per month. I factor in all the 1 million that I've gotten every month. But from your income that you earn from that business, from that 1 million, you now pay what is called pay as you earn, right? You pay that, which is 0 to 25%. I think I have a slide that shows the analysis. 0 to 25% is what you pay on that 1 million that you're earning. Compare that to someone who doesn't have a company that now made 100 million in the year. You will now approach the taxman. They will now.
Dr. Sheyi, I believe that 100 million that you're mentioning is in Naira, correct?
Naira, not dollar. Naira. It's 100 million Naira. It's not dollar. Okay? Yeah. So we have company income tax that is applicable to companies. We have personal income tax that is applicable to everybody, whether you work in the corporate or you own your own business. I've said if you have a limited liability company registered, you're supposed to pay yourself a salary. From that salary, every month, you need to pay tax from that salary, which is like 0 to 25%. And if you pay yourself a salary that is lower than minimum wage, like 70,000 naira, you also will not pay tax, because the tax law does not affect people. Personal income tax is 0% for people that are earning 800,000 naira annually, not monthly. 800,000 annually and below. If your income is less than 800,000, you're also not going to pay personal income tax. The next one is VAT, value added tax. One of the things that we'll start seeing from January, this is to prepare your mind and to prepare the minds of your customers. In fact, strategic businesses have started in informing their customers. There are some businesses, if you want to charge your customers, I sent an invoice to my customer, to one of my clients. I was supposed to do a video for them, a publicity video. So I put the fee plus 7.5. Person, 7.5 for what? I said, did you not see the new tax law? The new tax law, I'm preparing in advance so that from next year, I want to start preparing myself, start getting into the flow so that I don't forget it. It becomes a practice.
It becomes part of the structure for the business.
Yes. So if you are charging someone 1 million for something, you have to add 7.5. So it's 1 million plus 7.5% of 1 million, 75. So the person pays you 1,075,000 naira. What are you supposed to do with that 75,000? It's not for you to chop.
7.5%.
Yes, because if you spend that money, you are in trouble. At the end of every month, all the 7.5% that you have collected from all your customers, you now gather it together. You have up until 21st of the second month. So let me put dates to that. Let's say this is November. All the 7.5% I've collected from all my customers from November 1st, November 30. I have up until December 21 to pay all that money back to FIRS, all the 7.5%. VAT is you acting as an agent of government to collect money from people. That's what VAT is. You are not the one paying VAT. It's an addition that people have, they need to pay you. What's the implication of not
So we're
charging VAT?
paying it back to the
You are paying
federal
back to the
revenue,
government,
or
to,
what did you call
FIRS.
them?
FIRS,
FRIS.
Federal Inland Revenue Service. So all the money that you have collected
FIRS.
from your customers, you go and remit. It's called remit. You remit it to FIRS. Failure to remit it also is an offense. Right? If you don't also collect it, what is the implication? Because they are going into a regime of strict implementation. Let's say you have made 100 million for the year and you didn't charge VAT on all your customers. They can charge you 7.5% of that money that you have made. Why? Because you did not charge your customer. Meaning you want to help them pay it. No problem. So they take 7.5% from your account. How do you ensure that that is not done? Collect the money and remit it. The next one is capital gain tax, which is where capital gain tax and withholding tax, that's the two that has been causing a lot of headache for everyone
Yes.
in the market. Right? What is capital gain tax? It's a gain that you make on the disposal of an asset. So let's say that I bought a property today at 200 million naira and I sell that property. I'm a real estate dealer, not an inheritance per se. Let's say as a property that I deal in properties, right? And I sell it for the purpose of investment. I sell it for 350 million. I have made 150 million as profit. The tax law says I will pay 10% as capital gain tax on the gain, not on the total profit, or not on the total money. Sorry. Don't forget, I bought it 200 million. I sold at 350 million. I have made a difference of 150 million. They charge me on that difference, right? But there's also the question of exemption around it. There are some asset classes that if the profit is less than 150 million, right? You're also exempted from capital gain tax. Truthfully, when you think about this tax law very well, you'll see that they've done everything to ensure that
Fair.
it's progressive. It's fair. To be honest, the problem is we don't trust government. In Nigeria. That's
That
the
the
issue.
money will be
We
put to
don't
good use.
trust them. That is why. So it's not that when you think about the tax, everything that has been done, there's been a lot of protection for the vulnerable. It's simply collecting more money from people that can afford it and
Yeah.
sparing people that cannot afford it so that they can grow. That's what the tax law is. Then withholding tax. This one affects everybody because a new directive from FIRS says that asset managers and banks should collect 10% withholding tax from every short-term security investment. Short-term security investment, based on my explanations before, money market falls under short-term security. T-bills fall, and in investment, when they say short-term, it's anything that is less than 1 year, right? So any investment that is less than 1 year is short-term. So they are saying that 10% needs to be taken as tax from source. So let me put numbers to it. I invest in money market today.
Hello,
Invest 1
Lawa,
million.
make don't mama your 10%.
So
Oh my God.
I invest in money market today that pays me 20% interest, right? And I invest 1 million, 20% interest. 20% interest of 1 million is 200,000 naira. I'm supposed to get 1.2 million back, but now they said no, they must take
You now
10%.
give
So
government
from that 200,000, they will remove 10%
100.
of it. So they now pay you 1,180,000. So it's 10% of your gain has to be withheld before the balance is paid out to you. Right. But a lot of people have asked me, okay, does it now still make sense? But when you think about it critically, it still makes sense than you keeping your money in a regular savings account or than you not doing anything with your money. Do you know that it's even more profitable to invest in Nigeria than to invest in the UK? Because I guide people to invest in the UK to invest in other parts of the world. Our money market instrument in Nigeria pays 16%, 16 to 19%. In the UK, money market pays 4%. Go and confirm if you live in the UK.
Very
Just
true.
go to any bank and confirm their
In
money
fact, it
market
just
4%,
dropped to
5%.
16%. It was higher at some
It
point.
was like 21. In fact, some point
21.
it got to
Yes.
25. It got to 25%
Yes,
at some
you're
point. So
correct.
my last point is, why would a Nigerian investment pay higher than an investment in the UK? To help you understand that is, think about it from a security point of view. As a person, as an investor, you want to invest 10 million as your life savings, and they presented you with two countries as option, Nigeria or UK. No lie, where you go choose? Me say, where they talk, now UK I go choose, naturally. But Nigeria now has to look at itself. How can we make people want to choose us over advanced economies? So they needed to give them an incentive that is higher than what people can get in other parts of the world.
That
Which
is
is why
attractive.
in the last 2 years, all the investments that government has announced have been oversubscribed. They will say they want to raise $1 million. At the end of the day, they will end up raising $10 million. They will say they want to raise 1 billion. Oversubscription means people gave you more
People are
money
believing,
than you.
yeah, they believe in it and they're
So
giving to it.
So they have to, government will now have to sit down and be refunding people money. So no, we don't want your investment, take your money. We don't want your investment, take your money. And that's
Promise
that's the
us
situation that
reform,
Nigeria has been.
investment
Right?
proceed.
Yeah. So it's always, this finance class is always a very long class. It's a class that I would do for normally like 3 hours, but we have to round off
I'm making
now.
you do
There's
it
always
for
a
one
lot to talk
hour.
about.
In fact, you have overshot our time, but the people are still
Yeah,
here
thank
because
you.
they're gleaning so much. And I honestly would like to thank you. I love the fact that you
Thank you.
touched on investments. I mean, the basics. And I kid
Yes.
you not, if anyone who is willing and able to take all of this and run with it, you will definitely be back to say thank you to myself and Dr. Sheyi Abiodun. This is raw information. This is very, very real. And he even brought his own asset, template for us to see. This is as real as it can get. And I honestly would like to say very, very big thank you to you. Dr. Sheyi, before you round up, I would like you to kindly
Yeah.
share how they can connect with you, anyone who wants further consultation with you, how they're able to get through to you. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Pastor Sumbo. For those that have specific questions that you want to follow up after the session, you can please send me a DM on Instagram. Is at Sheyi the assistant DE and assistant all as one word. And you can also reach out to me on LinkedIn, Sheyi Abiodun. So those are the two platforms that I use very well. TikTok, I'm still struggling. Right, Facebook, I'm still struggling as well. And you can also shoot me an email, sheyi@sda.ng or sheyitheassistant@gmail.com. So feel free to reach out to me. If you send a DM, however, you have to please, expect that it may take longer before I respond, because an account that has over 200K people, it's a lot
Wow.
on a daily basis. I get not less than 100 DMs. So I always
Oh,
have to, a lot of work, and I want to undo my DMs by myself. So it's a lot of work. So please, if you send a DM and I don't respond on time, it's not out of spite. It's because there's a lot to
Falakemi, you
attend
have a
to.
job for Dr. Sheyi because Falakemi can do this for you to help you respond. And that's free advice. I'm sure she's going to DM you.
Yeah.
Someone says you should kindly repeat the email again. That's from
Email
catering.
again. Sheyi@sda.ng. Sheyi@sda.ng. Or sheyitheassistant@gmail.com.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shay. Joy says, I gained so much. Thank you so much, sir and ma. That's as far as we can go today. We've done over an hour. I want to say very, very big thank you to Dr. Sheyi Abiodun. Thank you so, so much for taking out time to empower us at the Inspiring Change Tribe. We really, really, really appreciate you. We are so, so grateful, highly honored to have had you join us. Thank you so, so much. Thank you, everyone, for connecting. Thank you for sharing your feedback. Like I said, this is the Inspiring Change Tribe, and it's the circle, the inner circle, or from the Inspiring Change Initiative. If you'd like to join us, you can send us an email at inspiringchangeinitiative@gmail.com. God bless you. Don't forget, we're already getting ready for the Inspiring Change Conference 2026. That will be the 14th edition. God has been so faithful. Look out for the details. And oh, you are welcome. Thank you so much. It's been a great opportunity to learn, and I'm glad that we had an expert take us on this topic. I believe that a lot of people who connected gleaned so much, but don't let this information end in your jottings. Please ensure that you take steps to ensure that you do something about this. I remember I said during my opening remarks that God's children don't chase quick money. We grow wealth with wisdom. So invest in what you understand. A few of these things we have talked about. If you're already investing, you just want to diversify your investment pathway, there are other safe and secured options that you can start with. And Dr. Sheyi already mentioned it. Those are the low and medium risk investment. He talked about the mutual funds. Go on Money Market, Google it, and if you need him to walk you in the hand, you can connect with him. So do money market funds, because it's very common in Nigeria. You can do the treasury bill and the government bond. Like I said, these things are no longer grammar, big grammar. These are things that you can actually just download the app from these investment bankers and follow the instructions that is on the app or on their website. You can also do dollar investments. You can invest in bonds, dollar mutual funds, but understand how FX affects your business. So Dr. Sheyi mentioned that only on regulated platforms, I must say this, so that you do not enter wahala. You can also grow your income with real estate. There are so many fintech platforms with CBN regulations that you can also invest in. Starting small businesses is also a good idea. It will help you expand your existing ventures. Salary earners will build an investment plan today. I know that money will always come to you, but build an investment plan today. To build it is not a guessing game. It's not a guessing game at all. Dr. Sheyi recommends that you put away 20% of your earnings and save it for investment. He also said that should be done after you have taken out 10% or 10% for emergency fund. He now said what you are left with is 70%. You take out 10% for tithe. Me, I'm saying that because kingdom giving remains my lifestyle. It's something that works for me. It's a personal thing. I would also recommend that you take out 10% for personal development, right? This one is fully paid for by the Inspiring Change Tribe, powered by ESOP Heroes, and it's coming to you free because you're members of the Inspiring Change Tribe. And this is our own way of pouring back into you and ensure that you spread and spread and spread until we do not have any woman who is broke and bitter. Okay, so much has been said, but as I round up, I want you to please seek God's guidance, before you make major financial commitments, especially in Nigeria, where opportunities are often, mixed with scams and blah blah blah. So let God lead you. Always pray that God, if this is your will, let it be done. And if it is not your will, please expose the gimmicks. If it's not your will, Holy Spirit, restrain me so I don't make mistake. And you will know, because God put something in you to check you. That's when you start losing your peace and all of that. As a child of God, please don't override this signal. So when you start losing your peace, you want to invest in something and you start losing your peace, is already a check, and God put that there so that you don't make mistakes. Above all, surround yourself with wise people. The Bible says that in the multitude of counsel there is safety. In the multitude of counsel there is safety. So make sure that you surround yourself with knowledgeable people, wise people, and avoid friends that push you to spend your money. They will tell you that, but you have this one saved now, let's spend it. Soft life. Don't be pressured by soft life, and don't fake it. Don't fake it till you make it. There's nothing like that in the kingdom. Faking your wealth online or putting up a show to fake wealth online is not cool. So I will encourage you to please speak to a mentor. I'm opening up my mentorship platform for another 5 people because I like to do this one-on-one. You'll be getting the link shortly after this. I pray in the name of Jesus that God will bless you. It will increase you. It will cause his face to shine on you and give you peace. Remember that your bank balance is not your worth. Your identity is in Christ Jesus. God bless you. As I leave, I'm going to leave you with this song that I love so, so much. It's a song by Exosia Wilson. Today is his birthday. He's a member of the Inspiring Change tribe. And these are some of the songs he has written and sang on the Inspiring Change platform. I'm going to play it. It's called I Believe by Exosia Wilson. You can check it out on Spotify. God bless you. Have a very, very good day. Thank you all so much. Oh yes, it's my birthday tomorrow. Thank you for the early birthday shout out. God bless you. You gotta believe.